Hello and welcome back to History Podcast. I'm your host, Christina.
And I'm Gustavus. Today, we're diving into the life of a figure who was pretty intense. We're talking about Charles XII of Sweden, sometimes called the Last Viking.
Intense is one word for it. I mean, this guy became king at just 15 years old. 15! I can't even imagine the pressure.
Right? No time for a normal childhood, and it wasn't like he got to ease into the job. Almost immediately, in 1700, a whole coalition, Denmark, Norway, Saxony, Poland, Lithuania, and Russia, they all ganged up on him to try and take Sweden's territory.
So they basically saw this kid on the throne and thought, easy pickings.
Exactly, but they were wrong. So wrong. Charles goes on the offensive immediately. At the Battle of Narva, he's facing a Russian army that is way, way bigger than his, and he wins. Just crushes them, apparently using a blizzard for cover.
Okay, that's some serious military genius right there. Using a blizzard, it sounds like something out of a movie.
And he doesn't stop. He then goes and defeats the Polish Saxon forces and even installs his own puppet king in Poland. For a while there, he was, invincible. The wunderkind of European battlefields.
But that never lasts, does it? The text says Russia started to reform its army and they built St. Petersburg. They weren't just going to roll over.
No, they definitely didn't. And this is where it all goes wrong for Charles. He gets a little overconfident, maybe. He decides to march on Moscow.
Oh, the classic mistake. Never march on Moscow.
It's the rule. And it leads to the Battle of Poltava in 1709. Charles gets wounded before the battle even really starts. His army gets completely decimated. It's a total disaster. That defeat was basically the end of the Swedish Empire as a major power and, the beginning of the rise of the Russian Empire.
Wow. So what happens to Charles? He doesn't get captured.
No, and this part of the story is just wild. He escapes to the Ottoman Empire. Just flees south and sets up camp. They even gave him a nickname, Demirbaş, which means Ironhead.
Ironhead? Because he was stubborn?
Yeah, pretty much. He hangs out there for years, getting into debt, causing political friction, until basically Sweden tells him, hey, if you don't come home, we're going to make peace without you. So he finally rides back in 1714.
And then he just immediately goes back to war, right? Invading Norway. He just couldn't stop.
He couldn't. And it's during his second invasion of Norway at the Siege of Fredrikstad in 1718 that he's killed. A projectile to the head. His death is, it's a bit mysterious, but a recent study seems to support the theory that it was grape shot from the fortress walls.
So what's his legacy then? I mean, he was this incredible military leader at first, but then it all sort of fell apart.
It's super divided. In Sweden, his death marked the end of absolute monarchy and the start of the Age of Liberty, where Parliament had more power. Some see him as a national hero, a symbol of Swedish power. Others, like the author August Strindberg, called him Sweden's ruin.
Sweden's ruin? That's a harsh assessment, but I guess it makes sense. All those years of war must have completely drained the country's resources, right? You can't just fight everyone for 2 decades and not expect it to have a massive impact back home. And his personal life was a bit odd, too. He never married or had kids, and the text mentions he developed new number systems? An octal system? For logistics? That's so specific.
It's bizarre, isn't it? He's a complete paradox, a military zealot who was also a mathematical innovator, devoted to war, but also celibate and intensely religious. It's hard to pin him down.
A truly fascinating character. He burned so brightly and then, poof, was gone at just 36. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to History Podcast.
Join us next time as we explore another incredible story from the past. Goodbye for now.